And here we are. Welcome to the Divide Live on Fox Sports The Gambler, 102.5 Philly, 104.1 Trenton, or catch us out on the iHeart app. I'm wearing my red shirt in memoriam for the old Red Octobers is over.
Oh, yeah.
Pour some out. Pour some out, Philly.
Also, shout outs to Buster, man. He was on Jimmy Kimmel, Buster from Q102. He was all over the place.
He's a brave man standing out there on those streets, talking to those Philadelphians.
The only thing I'm scared about is like now the whole world's going to associate him with this epic collapse. But if anybody knows anything about an epic collapse, give me a call.
I don't know, man. I mean, you guys have heard it all week if you've been listening to The Gambler. I mean, you got your three best guys going over in the last two games of the series. I'm more surprised. I'm a lot more upset about it than I thought I would be. Not that I had any stake in the game, and of course I was rooting for the Phillies just based off my workplace alone, but I can't believe it. The collapsed and to lose them both at home, man. I mean, it was almost like a shoo-in headed back to Philly. There's no ways that they can drop two games at home. There's no way.
Yeah.
And they did.
Like that's the rule, right? You just got to take one on the road and then you can win it all. So
exactly.
Up to game 6 and game 7, I mean, the Phils did everything they were supposed to do. I mean, I was just recording with Swingin' and Ding It, producing their show, and Harry Mays in the break room said something very poetic, and it's like, live by the homer, you die by the homer. But more importantly, the Phillies live by the solo home run, whether it's, Schwarber hitting those leadoff home runs, Harper at a bunch. It just seems like everything's a solo home run. So you need everybody clicking and everybody hitting dingers to continue to win. And they did it for the majority of the year, especially down the stretch. And Philly, you got to be happy, man. We said this since we joined last June, almost 18 months ago, it's playoff. Every team has been deep into the playoffs and into championships. So we've gotten spoiled. A lot of those fans showed that on Buster's thing, but it's still good. I mean, you got all these guys locked up long term. I don't think it's going to be an issue. What I do think is going to be an issue, and I want to talk about this really, really quick. The Philly fanatic. I was thinking about this because obviously, as the world knows, I'm in between jobs right now, and there's days when you have a bad day. The Philly fanatic has never had a bad day in its existence, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. I mean, that's a lot of energy. And I was thinking about that while I sit on my couch trying to stay awake during some of these 8:00 games. And I'm just like, look at this freaking Philly fanatic, bro. It's just nuts, man. Just
probably woke up right before the game. He's got all the energy in the world.
I'm checking him for PEDs, to be quite honest with you. Like, there's something going on. There's something in that nose. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just been a heartbreaking year for Philly, man. I mean, between the Eagles, starting with the Eagles Super Bowl last year, and then losing the MLS championship, now to this. It's hasn't been good, but the Eagles completely destroyed my Dolphins. I'll say destroyed. I know there was the whole collusion thing with that ref, and I don't want to get into it because you guys don't want to hear it, but
no, actually, I've heard a lot of Philly fans saying, there's no way the amount of penalties that the Dolphins were charged.
I don't want to sound like that guy, but every single replay of Hurts almost getting sacked, like how we barely got to him or we were just like nipping at his ankles. Every single replay they showed and talking about, look how effective Hurts is at getting away. There's someone from his offensive line holding one of the Dolphins players. And I understand that holding happens on every single NFL play, but to not have any calls against and to not have any, come on. I mean, no team in the NFL is that clean when it comes to gameplay like that. They're not. Yeah, and what I'm more mad at is all week I've had to listen to talk about, the Dolphins have only played opponents that have 2 wins and have this and have that. And it's like, I'm sorry, and not to take anything away from the Eagles because I think they're a good football team, but the toughest team that the Eagles have faced, the 2 toughest, I think, are record-wise, are the Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they have what, 3 wins each? I mean, what are we talking about here? And you want to go, okay, the Eagles lost to the Jets. Are the Jets a better team than the Eagles? Like, I hate that. You can say the Dolphins played poorly. The Eagles continue to play very well. This tush-push thing has everybody talking and talking about, first of all, why is the NFL going to ban it? And then even comments to what Will said right before we went on the air is, can we go with a better name? Does it have to be the tush-push?
Well, the Eagles are trying to do it, right? Like trying to get a different name. But Will did come up with some bangers, and I do like that. But what I like is the fact that the Eagles came out and said nobody else can do it. So how are you going to ban something that nobody else can do? And that's a very fair point, because like I think about golf, like with where everybody was using the putter that connected to their chest, the long putter, and stuff like that. And it obviously became a situation where, yeah, you should ban that. And like, even like if I see somebody on a golf course using that putter, I'm like, yo, dude, like, no, don't do that. But this is not a scenario where like, everybody else is figuring that out.
You got to give teams, you give them a year. You can't ban it after one. Look at the Wildcat in 2012 when the Dolphins, was it was before 2012, I think. 2008, whenever it was that the Dolphins revealed their whole Wildcat scheme, and there was 0 defenses that had an answer for it. 0 that year. The very next year they tried doing that. Everybody knows what's going on. As soon as the quarterback lines up in the slot or in some other position on the line, defenses eat that up now. I think teams will figure out a way to stop it. Right now, there's no stopping it. What I think it was what they were 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 in the Sunday night game. It's almost you're walking up to the line and you're pretty much just saying, yeah, I'm gonna get this first down now. I'm gonna travel at least 2 to 3 yards. There's no way you're gonna stop me. And there's not. I mean, the Dolphins had 0 answer for this. I haven't seen it not work yet. Have they ever failed a tush push yet?
No, they've converted in different ways where you thought they were going for the tush push and all of a sudden it's a wraparound type play. But, I don't, if it's got stuffed, it's been 2% of the time. You know what I mean? It hasn't been that many times, but look, like that's the way it is. I think about, was it the Rangers? And I think they beat your Devils where like they were like just laying down on the puck. Remember that defense move? I agree. Yeah. Like that type of play needed to be banned. This type of play, I don't see it yet. I don't see it.
No, there's no reason to. There's no argument to do it. You want to ban it for what? It doesn't break any rules. It's right now. It's impossible for defenses to stop. Which boo-hoo. I mean, what are we even talking about here? The NFL has gotten on everybody's last nerves. They're just changing the game for the worse. And I understand, and I'm not talking about safety protocols. I understand safety protocols need to be where they're at. We don't want guys not knowing who they are by the time they turn 35. However, you're talking fines for not wearing socks. Who was it? Jim Isray is getting fined because I guess after each game, somebody or a representative from the NFL gives a call to team ownership to say, hey, good game, but we admit the officials made some bad calls and we're addressing that. And then they didn't want anybody to go public with it. So Isray said it, I guess, on Twitter. He was talking about, I guess, his quarterback shoulder and how everything's going to be all right, blah, blah, blah. And then he ended up saying, yeah, there were some bad calls. The NFL admitted that. And he blew up Twitter world because the NFL is like, how dare you say that we admitted that? And they're going to fine him. Not that Isray cares. He spent $1 million trying to fly a whale across the country to save him. And that whale ended up dying in transit anyway. So just wasted $1 million. So it's just dumb, man. The no fun league is what they are. Try to ban the tush push. It's just stupid. Just let them have it.
Well, the only fun thing is the actual name of it, right? And
Yeah, I still
Will
like Gooch Scooch. I'm a fan of Gooch Scooch. That's what I want.
Will had some suggestions for us. We tried to invite him on. He didn't want to come on. He wants to keep that streak alive. For those that don't know, Will was supposed to be the third member to the Divide when it first started, but he has a band, and we decided we were going to record the same time as his band. So he never even made one recording with us, but he's always sharing stuff. So he feels like the quick snap should be changed to the fast blast.
Love it.
Face mash should be the mug hug, aka
Salacial facial.
interference should be the oopsie poopsie. Holding should be the grabby nabby, aka handsy. I'm not saying that either.
Handsy pansy. I'm a fan of the handsy pansy.
I don't like saying pansy. But injuries, the uchi,
Ouchie wouchies.
and the fumble is the clumsy fumsy. So yeah, Will's got away with words. He writes a lot of stuff that's pretty amazing on socials. But yeah, he shared that with us. Also, a PC Richard and Son guy.
I'm just saying, man, how funny would it be if you to hear or even Joe Buck say like, "Oh, we got an ouchie wouchie on the field right now." You know what I mean? Like,
well, they should add Will should recommend that to the Toy Story and Disney NFL games because they think that's great. But also imagine a 30-year-old who grew up on those Toy Story games going, "Got an ouchie wouchie."
An ouchie wouchie.
Like, what?
Poor salacial facial. Oh my God. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, dude. The league's got to do they're just tweaking everything. Let the tush push stand. Not the name, but the actual play itself. We're not a huge fan of the name at all. Let's get out of Philly for a little bit. I want to talk about Mad Dog because I know we have it here. Mad Dog said before the Game 7 that if Philly lost to the Diamondbacks, he would retire on the spot. Mike, the Mad Dog, said that. He said, "I will retire on the spot." Now, obviously the Phillies lost, and Mad Dog has yet to retire, which is dumb to me. You've been in the business this long, and you should know to probably not say something to where you're going to eat your words as hard as you're eating them right now. Like, I'm all for having all the confidence in the world for the team that you think is going to win. Tell people you threw money on it, or make a bet that you can actually. Don't say you're going to retire, because right now I want him to retire. You're going to do something stupid and say something like that, then retire. Absolutely 100%. Did you hear what he's doing instead of retiring?
What is he doing?
Oh my God, dude. It doesn't even make sense. He is going to, because he was on Howard Stern the day after, and he said that he wanted to talk about his vow and what he's going to do to not follow through with it. And what he suggested of him doing is he's going to wear a Diamondbacks bikini while walking through the streets of New York City with a sign saying "a liar and a dope." First of all, a Diamondbacks bikini, okay, kind of embarrassing.
Who wants to see this?
Not even that, but like, that's not even that. Especially, why are you walking around in New York? That's not even the weirdest thing to happen in New York. There's crazier things that happen all the time. What are you going to walk? Are you going to try to upset the naked cowboy that's been there for the last 30 years? Like, why are you? I understand you work in New York, but go to Philly and walk around. You're the one that proved them wrong. Like, what are you trying to? I'm going to walk around New York. No, buddy. If you want to put your money where your mouth is, you walk around Philly in a Diamondbacks bikini, and then you get your punishment on that way. No one in New York's going to care about that. Give me a break.
And to be fair, like I pride myself on knowing all sports talk. Like he's done two things in the last, let's call it 5 years, that's worth even talking about. And one was him explaining how he was going to fix himself a cocktail before the 1 o'clock games, and then take a half a gummy, have another cocktail. Then, like, by the 4 o'clock games, finish his gummy and he's good. And it, like, everybody looked at him like, wow, that's like really awesome. You said that. But outside, in this take, and actually for his image and the fact that now we're talking about him, it's probably the best thing that could have happened for his brand, for the Diamondbacks to win.
Absolutely. And I'm sure if the Diamondbacks do win, he'll end up getting some sort of sponsor or some sort of airtime where he's made of an idiot and he's got to do all that other stuff. Like you said, oh God, give me a break. He doesn't know anything, dude. He can barely talk football. He thinks he knows what he's talking about baseball. He doesn't know any hockey, even though he attempts it. It's just, it's very, he does know a little bit of basketball, but it's upsetting, dude. You've been in the business this long. Like, come on, what are you doing here?
It's still a perplexing 7-game series, man. I can't wrap my head around it because the Diamondbacks look dead, right? They just didn't look good to the point where a week ago we were talking about $11 tickets. You know? So the fan base didn't deserve it. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, the Phillies could have been down 3-0 if there was a home game. You know, that place is packed. So fan base versus fan base, I feel for Philly. They actually deserved it. And that's even with the crazy people who are going to flip over cars and stuff like that. They all deserved it. So, you know, Arizona does not. And the team was so flat. You know, they had to go for the jugular. And maybe Philly will realize that going forward. Just don't play with your food. Because that's all I could think about is like, you know, you could have probably finished them off in Arizona, and you probably should have. You know?
I'm just thinking about if Arizona wins it all, how sad is that parade going to be? And you know I'm a parade guy. You know we're parade guys. We're huge parade guys. So, I mean, I want to know how awful that parade is going to be. I'm trying to think. In recent events, there was a team that won it, and the city did not care at all, and the parade was so abysmal. Do you remember what it was? I can't.
I hope it wasn't the WNBA because that
no. Although, did you see Michael Che's joke on Saturday Night Live last week?
No.
So the New York Liberty played Vegas in the finals. So he's on Weekend Update, and he's like, the New York Liberty has just won the WNBA championship, and the crowd cheers, and he's like, shut up, you phonies! Vegas won it in 4. You don't care. You don't really care. They're all cheers. So he got him so good.
I love that. It's so true.
Man.
And you know,
what was it, dude? I really wish I could remember. Oh man, it was just like an abysmal championship.
Was it hockey? Was it the Stanley Cup? Was it Vegas? Speaking of Vegas?
No, dude, it can't. No? Come on. You're going to have I don't even remember where Vegas. It was like some.
Like
this is going to be so bad.
Who cares? But what I could share is, the Arizona mayor right now is like, what do we got to do? We got to make a parade? Like, you know, like I don't think the D-backs are ready for that. But speaking of somebody who needs to eat some crow, we just talked about, Mad Dog. Listen, I was on these airwaves telling everybody that would listen that DeGrom went after the money, made a bad decision. His speech, press conference.
We talked
became
so much
Texas
smack
Ranger
on that team.
Was incorrect, and now he's in line to at least get an ALCS ring. So he's already got a ring. Now it's just a matter of whether it's a World Series ring or a second place ring. But DeGrom was right.
Do you think this is like
wrong?
Do you think this was like his Joe Namath moment though? Like drunk on a beach saying you're going to win the Super Bowl. Do you think he said this in February, dude? He said this is a this team is a playoff bound World Series type team. And we laughed at him so damn hard.
It was a lot of young people that had to actually perform the way the analytics and the way the team believed in it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I just think this guy just got lucky, man. This was his Joe Namath. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Like, dude, there's no way he really thought.
Whoever sold him on the Rangers, like, one really believed in it, and two, so did DeGrom. And kudos to, regardless what he says, it's now the gospel, right? It's true. So as a Met fan, you have to kind of eat crow and just let it be. But yeah, dude, it's nuts.
Well, I wish them luck, but now Philly, I'm sorry. I don't want Texas to win. I know you guys don't want to root for Arizona because they just knocked you out, but because we talk so much smack about that money hungry, not healthy pitcher, now I just don't want him to win.